Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Marky in the Mix. We've done it. We've made it to the fifth episode. Who's surprised? I think we all are. So before we get started in today's episode, I just want to say that honestly, guys, yes, I'm filming at midnight. I'm filming and recording this at 11:35 in the PM because I forgot to record it today. I was gonna record it on Monday. Well, I was gonna record it on Monday, and then I didn't. Um, and then I didn't do it yesterday, and I was gonna do it today, and it completely slipped my mind. If you're watching this on YouTube, ignore the lighting. I've tried to do my best, but it does probably look like shit. Yeah. But how are you guys? I hope you're all doing very well. I have started uni. If you heard the air freshener, I do apologise. Yeah, I've started uni, which is going very well so far. I've decided to drop Spanish and major in creative writing and psychology instead of minoring in psych. Mainly because I'm actually really enjoying it. I am really enjoying psychology. It's a lot more fun than I thought. It's also a lot harder than I thought. I think I got 8 out of 10 on my last two quizzes. Um, Solely because they're so fucking hard. But it's really informative and yeah. So that's how my life's going. I'm studying at uni and having the time of my life. um, Robbie was going to be in this episode, but he is away on holiday with his family, so it is just me today. And I thought it'd be fun to look at some "Am I the Arsehole" Reddit posts, solely because I've watched people like read them and discuss them, and I'm like, you know what? I too love judging people and being nosy. So let me have a go. Um, so I've got the iPad out, and we're basically just gonna go through some "Am I the Arsehole" posts and decide for ourselves whether or not they are the arsehole. And I think this is really fitting for me as a professional arsehole to, yeah, go through them. So that is the vibe for the episode. There's actually quite a lot. I just pulled up the Reddit, and there are so many posts. So I won't lie, I did have a quick flick through to see which ones would be the most interesting to talk about. I haven't like read all of them. Like I've not read the whole entire thing, but I have like looked at the titles just to see, if I can give good feedback, basically. Um, yeah, so um, this one I'm intrigued by, and it's, am I the arsehole for telling my brother's fiance the truth about his past? So get comfy, everybody. Um, get a drink, get a snack, and join me in judging people. He's written down his names here. I'm going to change them just for the sake of the sake. Yeah. So, am I the arsehole for telling my brother's fiance the truth about his past? So, this has been an absolute disaster. My name is Chris, 27 male, and my older brother Francis, 30 male, has always been the golden child in our family. He's charming, successful, and everyone, including our parents, think he's perfect. But I know the real Francis. Francis has a history of being a serial cheater. In every relationship he's been in, he's lied, manipulated, and cheated multiple times. And not just little slip ups. He's led double lives before, dating two women at once for months. He always manages to get away with it because he's so damn charismatic. He already sounds like a prick. So when he announced his engagement to Emily, 28 female, I was shocked. She's genuinely the nicest person ever, and I knew she had no idea what kind of a guy she was marrying. At first, I told myself it wasn't my business. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he actually loved her. Then 2 weeks ago, I found out he was already cheating on her with his ex. I saw texts on his phone when he left it out on the counter saying things like, "Can't wait to see you again, I miss you in my bed," and Emily doesn't suspect a thing. That was it. I couldn't stay quiet. I met her with Emily and told her everything. I showed her the texts, told her about his past, and didn't sugarcoat anything. She didn't cry. She didn't even look surprised. Just nodded and thanked me for telling her. Then she ghosted everyone. She blocked Francis, disappeared from our family group chat, and completely vanished off social media. Francis went ballistic. He figured out I was the one who told her and showed up at my apartment screaming. He called me a jealous, bitter loser, said I ruined his life and that I had no right to get involved in his relationships. Our parents are furious at me, saying I should have let them work it out. But I don't feel bad. Emily deserved the truth. So, am I the arsehole for blowing up my brother's engagement? So there's a lot to unpack there. I'm going to say absolutely not the arsehole. Considering Francis has cheated multiple times, and like you said, led double lives, and the fact that he was engaged to Emily, who is, the sweetest person ever, I think it would have been worse to let them get married and then her find out and then have to go through the process of like divorcing him or, maybe not even suspecting a thing. So I think you did the right thing in telling her. But 100%. Everyone in the comments are actually saying not the arsehole, which I like. One person said, "Not the arsehole, you did let them work it out. Francis obviously had the opportunity to tell her at any point, or to not cheat on his fiancée. And you let Emily make her own choice about how to respond to the news. As you said, she didn't look surprised. I suspect you were just confirming something she already knew." Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing as well. She might have actually known what was going on, but, wasn't sure if it was going on, So, no, absolutely. By you telling her, you've, saved her from what would potentially be a clusterfuck of a marriage, and also validated, something that she might have already been, like, assuming. So, yeah, 100% not the arsehole. Let's see what else there is. Because there is a lot. Okay, interesting. Am I the arsehole for telling my friend that I was done inviting her to parties? I, 22 female, throw a lot of dinner parties. Like a ton. I love to cook. So I always put food on the table and I'm a pretty good chef, I'd say. One of my friends comes to all of them. The problem is, she takes all the leftovers. I swear to God, every single time there's a scrap left, she takes it. And I appreciate that she doesn't want to waste food. That's not the problem. The problem is, I want some leftovers too. So I told her when we were eating this time, "Hey, don't take the leftovers, okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, sounds good." Fast forward to the end of the party, she takes the goddamn leftovers. When I notice later that night, I text her, "Hey, if you can't stop taking the leftovers, I'm not going to invite you anymore." She says, "Okay." Next time that she does come over for a party, I remind her when we're eating, "Don't take the leftovers." She says, "Okay." When she's about to leave, I was sitting at the table. Guess what I see? She's taking the leftovers. So I tell her that if she couldn't listen to a boundary I set, the clear consequence that I discussed with her was that she would not be invited to any more parties. She said that it wasn't fair that she couldn't have some, and she was only taking a bit this time. I'm not sure if that's true, but I told her I didn't want her to take any. She says okay and puts them back. Fast forward to the next time I hosted a party, she isn't invited. Apparently, she found out through the grapevine. Makes sense. We share quite a few friends. And she got pissed as hell, saying that she put them back and I should have invited her again. I think she might be right. Am I the arsehole? Now, listen. I'm going to say 100% again that you are not the arsehole. Because you messaged her, you spoke to her on multiple occasions about the boundaries that you had set. You invited her to, your parties. You know, she had the privilege of, being allowed to come. You set these boundaries. You were clear and direct, and she refused to listen. And the thing is, because she ignored those boundaries before and kept on taking the leftovers, how were you meant to know that she was only going to take a little bit? That could have been a lie. In fact, it probably was a lie. So, her getting pissed off at you and, saying that you shouldn't have invited her, no. And also, they're your parties. You can invite whoever you want. And, you shouldn't feel bad for not inviting someone because they broke boundaries multiple times. Your friend has to live with the consequences, basically. I for one, I wouldn't invite her back. And again, everyone in the comments are saying not the arsehole. One person wrote, not the arsehole. I've never heard of anyone taking leftovers without asking first, and then to take them after being told to stop. I think she's taken advantage of you, and she's only angry because she couldn't mooch more food from you. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's another good point. Did she ever ask to take the leftovers? Or did she just help herself? If I was at a dinner party, I would either wait for them to be like, oh, by the way, guys, feel free to take some leftovers. Like if they don't offer, then I wouldn't take them. That's the thing. Like you didn't offer for anyone to take the leftovers. Again, not the arsehole. Do not let her manipulate you into feeling badly about not inviting her to a dinner party. No means no. Why do people have problems with this concept? No means no. No leftovers. Do not take leftovers. I don't care how much. Do not take leftovers. Did she pay for the food you were preparing? If so, she maybe should get some, but not all of the leftovers. If she did not pay for any of the groceries, she is not entitled to any of the leftovers. If you want to offer some to her, that would be fine. She does not get to take them. Don't invite her again, and do not let her manipulate you or your friends into inviting her. Yeah, 100% agree. If she bought some food herself, like a little potluck kind of sitch, if she bought the food herself, then yeah, she can take her leftovers. But I think it's really fucking disrespectful of her to take yours and then get pissy about it. No, 100% not the arsehole. Let's have a look. I'm enjoying this, guys. Let me know if you like you're enjoying these so far. Because I think it's fun. I'd love to get Robbie in and get Robbie to do some of these with me because I feel like it would be a lot of fun. So let me know if you're enjoying this so far. And just let me know if you want me to do more of these in another episode because I'm definitely keen. I'm really enjoying these. Okay, this is a long one. Bloody hell. Okay, well, strap in, everyone. Am I the arsehole for taking an Uber home instead of sitting on a man's lap? Okay. So my best friend Sarah, female 22, recently got a new boyfriend, James, male 23, and she is over the moon into him. Sarah is one of the very few people I hang out with. She recently just met James's friend group, a group of guys, and they invited her to go on a beach trip with them. Sarah begged me to go with them and kept insisting I join, even when I declined the offer about 4 times. Eventually, I just agreed to go and get her off my back about being sad and alone. I was told that I would have a ride. Sarah and I were the last to be picked up, and when they pulled up, there were 4 guys in a 5-passenger car. I see this as my way out. I say, "Oh, looks like there isn't enough room for the both of us. You can go enjoy the beach with your boyfriend. I don't mind staying behind." Sarah tells me that it isn't a big deal if she has to sit on James's lap to make it work. Immediately, I felt on edge. Turns out, James was the one driving, and he said he wouldn't trust anyone else to drive his car. He told me that I would be the one sitting on someone's lap because there's no way he would let Sarah do that. I don't know these guys at all. I pull Sarah aside and tell her that I'm uncomfortable, thinking that she would help me out. Instead, she encourages me, saying that she thinks I would have fun and maybe even get a date. She is so into James and has been talking about this trip non-stop for over a week, so I decided to just do it to make her happy. 2 of the 3 guys in the back, Sarah sits up front next to James, offer up their laps. I just picked the guy with the most legroom. We live about 45 minutes from the nearest beach, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad. Except that I was told on the drive that we were actually going to the beach for an hour and a half away instead. My mood just becomes more and more sour. I never once relax, and eventually find myself quietly fuming once my emotions set in. The boys that I am squeezed into the back with just talk about me, physically leaning over me constantly, brushing up against me. Once we get to the beach, we set up and I finally find a moment to relax. I eat a sandwich I packed and read a book while Sarah and James are lovey-dovey and the guys mess around in the ocean. I was asked twice why I only packed a sandwich for myself. Not jokingly either. Not once had I been asked to bring a single thing. When it came to the part where everyone was getting in the car, I just told James and Sarah that I had called for an Uber to pick me up because I don't want to sit on anyone's lap for over an hour and a half. Sarah tried to argue, but my ride showed up, so I left. I got a call from Sarah a few hours later. She called me a bad friend for ditching everyone. When I told her how the whole day was making me feel shitty, she told me that I was being selfish and that I had been acting like a bitch all day. I do not think I deserve that, but I'm also pretty paranoid that I did something wrong. Am I the arsehole? So that's quite a lot to unpack. um, and I'm gonna say for this one, I'm going to say that you aren't the arsehole again. I'm just gonna say that no one's the arsehole here. Um, I'm gonna say not the arsehole because one, you didn't want to go on this trip in the first place. Let's be honest. And you told Sarah multiple times that you didn't want to go on this trip, and she insisted, like she begged you to come. So one, you were being a good friend just by going, even though you didn't want to. But also, I can 100% understand why you'd be uncomfortable sitting on, like a man's lap, especially one that you do not know. And especially, because they were non-stop talking about you in the car for an hour and a half, making you feel very uncomfortable. 100% not the arsehole for calling an Uber. And I think, Sarah calling you a bitch, saying that you were being a bitch all day is unfair. She forced you to come. You were forced to sit on someone's lap. They made you feel like shit because you packed yourself a sandwich, which is stupid. Like, if you weren't asked to bring anything for anyone else, I just think 100% not the arsehole. I think if anyone's being an arsehole, it's Sarah. Like, I just think you're being treated very unfairly. Um, yeah, so definitely not the arsehole. 100%. One of the comments here says, not the arsehole. I wouldn't do that regardless of who I know in the car or our genders in case the car crashes. That's another point. That is 100% another point. It was extremely fucking dangerous. That said, if you weren't against the lap sitting idea in general, Why didn't you suggest sitting on Sarah's lap or vice versa? I mean, again, though, I can understand where they're coming from. But so, I mean, I wouldn't sit on my best friend's lap in a car because it's dangerous. And also, an hour and a half, I can't even sit by myself for an hour and a half, let alone sit on someone's lap. Um, I mean, the original poster actually replied to that saying, "Sarah is a very petite girl, so I suggested that she sit on my lap, which she was against because she wanted me to get out there." Ah, okay, so Sarah wanted you to find a date. Um, now I just think I do think it's just a bit unfair of Sarah, um, making you feel like shit. You're not the arsehole. Oh, okay. So, moving on. The original poster says to buckle in. Apparently, this is a very very tough one. So, ooh, it's also very long. I need to get comfortable. Ugh. I actually really love this lighting, guys. I won't lie. It feels very comfy and homey. If you're watching on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm about. If you're listening, I've got like my lights set to dim. I've got my ring light behind the camera, but I've got my little like lamp on the side of the sofa, and it's kind of a vibe. And I've got my boom arm all set up, so I don't have to hold the mic. It's actually quite nice. Anyway, back to Am I the Arsehole? Brace yourself. This is tough. I'm a 33-year-old man, and my now wife is 34. We got legally married last year without our families present. That decision has since caused conflict with my family to the point that I'm starting to feel like I'm losing my mind. In April of 2024, my wife and I had a simple registry office ceremony in our city, surrounded by just a few close friends. Her two best friends from uni, my best friend of 13 years, and one close friend. At the time, my relationship with my family was fine, and to my knowledge, no issues. But since they found out they weren't invited to what we call our legal ceremony, everything has changed. They say that they feel excluded, that I've hurt them in ways I won't understand until I have children of my own. They believe my wife controls me, that she chose to exclude them. They think that because her own mum wasn't there, she forbade me from having mine. They seem to ignore the situation we were put in as to why we chose to get married that way. We are still having that traditional wedding with speeches and vows, etc. To give you the backstory as to why we're having two weddings and the situation we're in. Back in November of 2023, my then girlfriend and I had agreed we would start trying for a baby. It is something we had discussed for a while. However, when January came around, my wife got diagnosed with cancer. Fuck. In that moment, everything changed. The joy and anticipation was overshadowed by fear and heartbreak. They knew she had cancer, but we didn't know the stage or level of aggression at the time. As we had been trying for a baby, we did a test just to be safe that she was not pregnant. And when we saw the result, our world shattered all over again. What should have been one of the happiest moments of our lives became one of the most devastating. We were faced with an impossible choice. This is a horrible decision we had to make and live with. Every day we question ourselves on if we made the right choice. We made every effort to stay present and hold on to any form of normality, while our world felt as if it was ending. The doctor told us we shouldn't try for a baby for 5 years due to treatment. 5 years of waiting. Even after those 5 years, what are our chances? During this time, both my wife's family and my own barely reached out to us. At times, it felt as though our families had abandoned us in our darkest hour. Despite how we felt abandoned, we learned over the years what to expect from them. Because of what we went through, my wife and I decided to get married. This was one thing we could take control of. It wasn't about anyone else. To everyone looking in, it may have seemed like a beautiful, intimate day, but for us, it was clouded. I had my closest friends who live in the same city as me attend, as they have been my biggest support. We are also having a second wedding this year, one that is more traditional, with all friends and family are a part of. Um, but they can see past last year. But they can't see past last year. Look, you and your wife have had to go through an incredibly fucking awful time. You know, being diagnosed with cancer, you know, trying for a baby. It my heart breaks for you guys. And you know, not having your family support during that time as well is incredibly shitty of them. And like, you know, you're not the arsehole for not inviting them to, you know, the wedding at the registry office. Because like I said, that was the one thing that you guys thought that you could control. And you had your biggest supporters there. Your family didn't support you, but your friends did. Um, and also you're saying that you're going to have like a traditional wedding anyway that everyone can attend. So I just think why are they being awful to you when you've already said to them that you're going to have a traditional wedding that they can attend? You know? I just think you're definitely not the arsehole. It just it doesn't seem that doesn't seem fair to me. I think your family are being awful to you. And I'm incredibly sorry that you have to go through that. You know, and I mean you might not see this, but I really hope that your wife's doing okay. Um you know, I'm heartbroken for you guys. Nah, you're not the arsehole at all. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Um, this one seems this one seems quite interesting. Um, honestly, I was hoping to find one where I could be like, you know what, you are the arsehole. But all of these seem like all of these seem really valid. I want to see if I can find. I want to see if I can find one that's just tagged. You are the arsehole. Let's have a look. So this one says that they are the arsehole. So okay, I'm intrigued. My wife, our 1-year-old son, and I were at my older brother's home yesterday for dinner. I used to visit them often before I was married, but even now we try to visit them. But even now we try to visit each other once a month and are genuinely on cordial terms. During dinner, my sister-in-law made a remark about my wife's bag that I had bought her for our anniversary. My wife seemed happy about that, and everything was going well. My sister-in-law then compared it to my wallet, which is pretty old and worn, but I like it because my dad gave it to me 11 years ago when I left for college, and told my wife that she should make me shop for myself too. I said I liked my wallet. I've heard comments about it and I just laugh it off. She then said something that basically translates to one person earns and another person spends. I felt uncomfortable about it, but my wife looked totally pissed off. I tried to change the topic, but my wife said that she takes care of our son, maintains our house while I work, decorated our house from scratch, all true, and I routinely thank her for it. But my sister-in-law said it was a joke. But within a few minutes, my wife just said she wasn't feeling well, and we went back. During the drive back, and when we came back home, she made it very clear that she won't be keeping any contact with her until she gets a clear apology. Today, my brother called and suggested we grab a bite to eat. I said sure. The way he said it, it really seemed like it was just the two of us. My wife also had no issues with that. I thought my brother was going to discuss a way for us to meet or something so my sister in law and my wife could patch things up. When I went there, my sister-in-law was there too. While we were eating, they gave me their point of view, that it was a light-hearted comment and my wife was blowing it out of proportion. I defended my wife too, and said she definitely feels that it was out of line. When I came back home and my wife learned she was there too, she got really upset. She said if my sister-in-law wasn't prepared to render an apology, then I should have left, and that I betrayed her by having food with them. I don't see it that way. I was really trying to fix everything in good faith. Am I the arsehole? Okay, so before I get into my thoughts, I just want to see in the comments what people are saying. Yeah, one person commented saying, "You are the arsehole." Quoting, "She definitely feels it was out of line. Way to have her back. It was out of line, and you should have made it clear that you thought it was out of line too. You make it sound like it was her subjective perception." Yeah, but 100% I agree with that. Another person says, "You are the arsehole. I know that you just want to brush it off because it's easier to you, but your sister-in-law was deliberately mean-spirited, and trying to laugh it off is just a joke. Plus, inviting you out without your wife to talk about your wife is really not okay. You say you defended your wife. Did you also demand an apology? Did you ask why they wanted to meet with you instead of your wife? Even the non-apology of just a light-hearted comment should have been directed to your wife directly, not via you. Yes, this will impact your relationship with your brother going forward, but just pretending it didn't happen isn't an option. And hopefully you made it clear to your sister-in-law that this is on her to fix, not on your wife to forgive and forget without even an apology." Now, I'm also going to say that yes, you are the arsehole. I think, yeah, you didn't defend your wife really. You just said, you know, she thinks it's out of line. It, like, like one of the commenters said, it is out of line, and it was out of line. And I can understand that, you thought it was just going to be you and your brother going out for food. I can understand that. But like the commenter said, when you found out your sister-in-law was there, why didn't you say to her, "Look, my wife is upset. You are out of line. Can you apologize?" And like your wife said, if she wasn't willing to apologize, you should have just left. So yeah, I'm siding with everyone in the comments saying that you are the arsehole. And I do think, you can patch things up. You can, apologize to your wife first, honestly. Your wife deserves so many apologies right now. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, apologies need, you and your sister-in-law both need to apologize to your wife, because I think you're both out of line. Obviously you weren't, you were trying to defend your wife, but you weren't doing it in a way that actually made it seem like you were defending her. You were doing it in a way that implied that you thought it was a joke as well, and that she was just like going crazy. Yep, no. So we're gonna end on that with "You are the arsehole." Crikey! If you guys want a part 2 to this, by the way, let me know. Like I said earlier, I'm very much keen to get Robbie on it as well. I think Robbie would have some very big insights into some of these. Yeah. Thank you for listening or watching on YouTube. If you want to follow me on all my socials, they'll be in the description below. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, if you want, feel free to give me a 5-star review. I would very much appreciate it. It'd mean a lot. Yeah, and comment, if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below if you want a part 2, because I'm very much keen. And with that, thank you guys for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Au revoir.